Okay, I'm reloaded.
How about Memphis? It seems like with the power forwards they acquired in the draft, Kyle Anderson probably won't be part of their plans going forward. That reduces some of the impetus to stay over the cap. They got about $20 million or so in space to work with, but they also have the bird rights of Tyus Jones. Actually, I'm sorry, I'll rephrase that. I think they've got, with Danny Green's guarantee, they've got about $20 million in space to work with. They could maybe do some things to open up a little bit more there as well. So where do you think they're going with their cap space? And because it seems like Tyus Jones might have some offers for the full mid-level to go start elsewhere. Maybe Memphis won't see that as a priority to match that, and maybe Jones just wants to go start anyway. So there seems to me like they're headed towards having some space. And what do you agree with that? A, and B, what do you think they might do with it?
A lot of teams I've talked to since the deadline have been saying to me, look out for Memphis. This is their opportunity. This is their last chance.
I hope that's true so badly. I want them to be extremely aggressive this offseason.
Even today, I've heard people say, what about Memphis and Miles Bridges? But
hey, that's what happened in our mock off season that we did yesterday.
However, I mean, Grizzlies people have been adamant that they are not going to do anything to shake up their culture. They've been building this thing organically, and that they don't really want to play with fire. And they got linked to like a Jeremy Grant team, right? Like they never seemed like they had much of an appetite to go and get him. Miles, I see the fit. I see the connection with Jaren Jackson in Michigan State, which people always talk about. They played there together one year when Miles went back and he was a sophomore. I believe they're even roommates, honestly. I think I wrote some story with Tum Tum Nairn when he was like an assistant with Phoenix, and they had like Bible study in their apartment together. But I mean, the stuff I've heard from Memphis today has been mostly about Kyle Anderson and Tyus Jones. It sounds like Tyus Jones wants and is expecting to get more than the mid-level, which I think is very fair. I mean, the intel has been kind of conflicting, honestly, of if he's going to go back or not. I need to make more calls on it before I write tonight. But I would think they'd want to keep him, especially after moving D'Anthony Melton. And, I mean, we saw it in the playoffs, but, I mean, Ja is going to be a player who is going to have opportunities to be hurt, right? I'm not saying he's injury prone, but the way he plays and just the fact that he's going to be in the air a lot and he's not built like a running back, right? Like he's going to be in position to get hurt a lot. And having someone like Tyus Jones, who could basically be the equivalent of like the best backup quarterback in the NFL, like someone who you really think could be a legit starter somewhere, who could even play next to Trey because of his shooting. I remember some big late moments against Minnesota, right, where he, kind of shut the door on some of his Timberwolves comeback runs. I would be surprised if Memphis doesn't do what they can to keep him. The biggest threat I've heard to steal him has been Washington, but for Washington to get north of the mid-level number, it's going to have to be a sign and trade. So that would be tricky. But it wouldn't be impossible. I mean, there's a pretty obvious sign and trade scenario with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, where I think he'd be a pretty good fit in Memphis too. But I think that might be getting a little bit ahead of the curve.
Yeah, it does seem like Jones would be an obvious fit for Washington, which does have the full mid-level and is trying to win this year and desperately needs something at point guard. If it's not him, maybe they revisit the Brogdon trade or something like that. It seemed like number 10 was too much to give up for that on draft night, so that's why that didn't happen. Yeah, I hope they do more than just bring back Anderson and Tyus and at least sniff around some of the things. But I do understand what you're saying about the culture. Dylan Brooks going into the last year of his deal, kind of a prickly guy. If you get Miles Bridges, Brooks is probably coming off the bench, although maybe he's closing. And, I think there's a feeling that Dylan Brooks might not be the guy on this Memphis team that's going to win a championship due to some of the warts in his game.
This is Memphis X with iTalkHoops. While you're here, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications so you will be alerted to all the new videos I have coming up during this NBA offseason. We have a goal on this channel to get to 1,000 subscribers before the new season starts, and I'm going to need your help to get there. Thank you.
KeyAno. Grizz gang, go hard. Baddest in the game, we be on one. I talk hoops so secure.
court, but we gon' score. Memphis bringing heat straight from Tennessee. Diamond spiking, let's go, boy. He that MVP. Ooh, reppin' that blue. All on the court, baby. Look how I move. Look how I do. Look how I grew. I got the balls when I dribble, I shoot. NBA living, do this for a living. Cooking the court like I'm up in the kitchen. Lineups unique, got them slipping and tripping. Lord, show 'em mercy, cause we come to win it. Get it, tune. I talk hoops. Come with them recaps, I come with that news. All on your last G topic when you choose. Up in your history, up in your views. Ooh, ooh. Entertaining you straight from the screenplay. I talk hoops, always on replay. You know how we do every single game day. Grizz gang, and we here to stay. Woo! Grizz gang, go hard. Baddest in the gang, we be on one. I talk hoops, so secure. All up on the court, but we gon' score. Memphis bringing heat straight from Tennessee. Diamond spiking, let's go, boy.